not an original, but it's our arrangement.
Well, it's beautiful, thank you. I so appreciate the praise team and the way that they have carried worship through these last months, and I'm sure way before that, but I give God thanks and praise for them, for all of them, for the work that they do. So I want to share an illustration with you, and this is not an original illustration, so I actually was blessed to be a part of the Emmaus community. Dale and I went on the walk to Emmaus, and if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, come and talk to us about it. We would love to tell you about it. Not only was I able to be a part of the walk to Emmaus for the women's weekend, but I also was very blessed to serve as one of the spiritual directors for our Chrysalis component, which is the youth component to the walk to Emmaus. And as I was listening to one of the speakers, I heard this illustration and it just so struck me. And I thought of it today and I thought it would be so perfect to use this morning. Jenny was a bright-eyed, pretty 5-year-old little girl. One day she and her mother were checking out at the grocery store, and Jenny saw a plastic pearl necklace, and it was $2.50. How she wanted that necklace. And when she asked her mother if she would buy it for her, her mother said, well, it is a very pretty necklace, but it costs an awful lot of money. I'll tell you what, I'll buy you the necklace, and when we get home, we can make up a list of chores that you can do to pay for the necklace. And don't forget that for your birthday, Grandma said that she might just give you a whole dollar bill, okay? So Jenny agreed, and her mother bought her the pearl necklace. Jenny worked on her chores very hard every day. Sure enough, her grandmother gave her that crisp $1 bill for her birthday. And soon Jenny had paid off the pearls. How Jenny loved those pearls. She wore them everywhere, to kindergarten, to bed, and when she went out with her mother to run errands, she was so proud of them. The only time she didn't wear them was in the shower because her mother told her that they might turn her neck green. Now, Jenny had a very loving daddy. When Jenny went to bed, he would get up from his favorite chair every night and read Jenny her favorite story. One night, when he finished the story, he said, Jenny, do you love me? Oh, yes, Daddy. You know that I love you, the little girl said. Well, then give me your pearls. Oh, Daddy, not my pearls, Jenny said, but you can have Rosie, my favorite doll. Remember her? You gave her to me last year for my birthday, and you can have her tea party outfit too, okay? Oh no, darling, that's okay. Her father brushed her cheek with a kiss and said, good night, Jenny. A week later, her father once again asked Jenny, after her story, do you love me? Oh yes, Daddy, you know I love you. Well then, give me your pearls. Oh no, Daddy, not my pearls. But you can have Ribbons, my toy horse. Do you remember her? She's my favorite. Her hair is so soft and you can play with her and braid it and everything. You can have Ribbons if you want her, Daddy, the little girl said to her father. Oh no, that's okay, her father said and brushed her cheek again with a kiss. God bless you, little one, sweet dreams. Several days later, when Jenny's father came in to read her a story, Jenny was sitting on her bed and her lip was trembling. Here, Daddy, she said, and she held out her hand. She opened it, and of course the beloved pearl necklace was in her hand, and she let it slip into her father's hand. With one hand, her father held the plastic pearls, and with the other, he pulled out a little blue velvet box, and he gave it to her. And inside of the box were real, genuine, beautiful pearls that would never turn her neck green. You see, he had them all along. He was waiting for Jenny to give up the cheap stuff so he could give her the real thing. When we talk about what the kingdom of heaven is like, I feel feel like that story encapsulates it so beautifully. We live in this world with all of its beautiful things, beautiful trappings, the temptations of this world and the fallenness of this world, and yet God says all the time, there are little mustard seeds around you. There's yeast that seemingly is worthless, and yet it can be turned into leavened bread enough to feed 150 people. You see, that's exactly the story in this parable that I totally forgot to read for you, as I'm realizing. Let me share the scriptures with us this morning so maybe you'll connect in what I'm talking about. Our gospel lesson is from Matthew chapter 13, verses 31 through 33 and 44 through 52. The parables of the mustard seed and the yeast. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all the seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that birds can come and perch in its branches. He told them still another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked through all the dough. The parable of the hidden treasure and the pearl. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all that he had and bought the field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. In the parable of the net, once again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was let down into the lake and caught all kinds of fish. When it was full, the fishermen pulled it up on the shore. Then they sat down and collected the good fish in baskets, but threw the bad away. This is how it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come and separate the wicked from the righteous and throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understood these things? Jesus asked. Yes, they replied. He said to them, therefore, every teacher of the law who has become a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of a house who brings out of his storeroom new treasures as well as old. The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. How many things do we hold on to because we think that it's the best that there is? And yet there are times when we're willing to let it go and to let down the things that we hold so dear. God surprises us with things that we couldn't even imagine, and they're so much better. This morning, of course, our master teacher is teaching once again. Jesus, using parables, the mustard seed, the treasure hidden in a field, the yeast, a net, a pearl of great value. And this morning, as we look at these parables, I want us to focus on two amazing truths that are found in all of these. First is the surprising appearance of the kingdom of heaven. This is especially true, of course, with the parable of the mustard seed and the yeast. These two parables combine to emphasize one of the primary secrets of the kingdom of heaven, that it has come in a surprisingly hidden manner. Jesus does not deny the greatness and the glory that the kingdom will ultimately manifest, that will ultimately come when Jesus returns in all of his glory. But he does emphasize that during this age,